Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Stay tuned a little bit later on in the video. Take the car finally out for a drive. Pretty happy with how the drive went, considering how it went probably about a month ago. People have been asking me, what happened to the car, sort of dropped off the radar, etc. Has anything gone wrong? Yeah, a couple of things actually did go wrong. I'll get into them in a minute, but yeah, once again stay tuned because we go for a little bit of a drive. We went out yesterday morning to Coffee and Cars down at Beck's at Port Noarlunga. I didn't really film a lot there, but then we went for a drive along Route 31 from Christie's to Moana. Couple of blips here and there, so stay tuned for that. Nothing too crazy, no burnouts, no skids, no going stupid, but yeah, just a couple little blips here and there. And then we went for a lap back through Coffee and Cars at Beck's, but by that time a lot of people had left and gone home or gone for a cruise along the Route 31, which is a fantastic drive along the coast. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. I have been sort of thinking also of changing the name of the channel from Mid Coast Diff Shop, because I'm actually not doing any more diff related content. The only diff related content you'll get is if I'm doing one of my own diffs, and also yeah, so I'm thinking of changing it from Mid Coast Diff Shop to Mid Coast Mopars, because that's what primarily the channel is going to be about, is my Mopars, and if anybody likes some of their Mopars, once again I'm non-biased. I like sort of all brands. If somebody's put a lot of effort into something and a lot of time, etc., I look past what it is and I look into what they've actually done to the car, etc. So yeah, stay tuned for a bit of that. Just something I've been toying around with. Let me know in the comments what you think of changing the name from Mid Coast Diff Shop to Mid Coast Mopars, but yeah, we'll touch a little bit more on that. A couple of the failures that we had with the car the first time that I had it out. We literally couldn't travel any more than probably 4 or 5 Ks. Especially around here, you've got a lot of traffic. It's all 50 Ks, 40 Ks, etc. And 60 of course. So yeah, the radiator I had in the car, just briefly, long story short, was like probably over 30 years old. It was only a 2-row, it wasn't a 3-row, it was only a 2-row. From the outside it looked really good, actually in very good condition, very usable, but we soon found out that when I took it to the radiator shop that it was over 80% blocked. So that was accounting for my overheating problems, which was a bit of a relief. Because once again, haven't had this engine on the road for a very long time, and also while the radiator was off at the radiator shop, the fuel cell in the boot decided to shit itself, leak all through my boot. I came out and discovered a puddle of black, which was petrol and paint, under the car. It found its way out, and yeah, long story short, the fuel cell shit itself. So I've since upgraded all the fuel, well, not upgraded, but updated the fuel system, because once again that fuel cell would have been probably 35 years old too. It was an old Hornet fuel cell. It was plastic composite, whatever they use, and basically speaking, on one of the ports, the bulkhead that comes out of the fuel tank at the surge, had actually, on the inside of the tank, the material of the tank, the wall of the tank had actually come away like an O-ring, and basically speaking, she was stuffed. It only had a -10 bulkhead in there, so I probably could have drilled it out and put a -10 in there. But I thought, no, I'm not going to risk it again. And I wasn't really happy with my first attempt at the fuel system. It was literally, excuse the flies, it was literally just to get the car going. And I was also always going to sort of upgrade the route of the fuel lines, etc., and so forth. And I'll touch on that a little bit soon. So yeah, basically speaking, we had a couple of failures, but I was sincerely relieved that that was the only failures, touch wood, that we've had. But yeah, once again, I took it out for a few days over the weekend, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. You'll see Sunday us driving around in the morning. Yeah, and like I said, pretty happy with if that's the only real dramas that we've experienced so far. Once again, touch wood. So what I'll do is I'll take the camera off the tripod, and I'll show you the couple of upgrades that we've done, and then yeah, we'll go for a drive, and yeah, go for a little bit of a cruise around on the Route 31, and enjoy the lovely Sunday morning that it was. Yeah, all right, so I'll take it off the tripod, and let's have a look around the car. Okay, so yes, the first failure, like I said, that we had was the radiator. Once again, it was of no surprise to me, really. I never really had good cooling with this engine on the street. You know, and I mean, like I touched the subject with my wife yesterday, was we never actually really drove this engine on the street. It literally lived a quarter mile at a time, and we basically just raced the engine ever since we built it, and have never really done a great deal of street miles. Sure, you know, we put a permit on the car every now and then, or regoed it, but we never really went for big cruises or anything like that. You know, it was just short laps along the Esplanade where we were going for a drive a bit later on in the video. The car was literally, the old car was literally in race trim all the time. It was never really in street trim, so hence the reason we never really drove it on the street. So a lot of these problems that we're sort of experiencing aren't really a surprise, but they're also, you know, something that needs to be taken care of, because we're going to be doing street miles with the car. So once again, the team at Southern Radiators, can't recommend them enough. Did an absolutely fantastic job. We could have gone with a different style, using different top and bottom tanks, and I could have used the redback core like I've got in leftovers, which I am once again extremely pleased with. You know, we take that car out on 37-degree days, you know, when I'm stupid enough to, and drive it around, you know. So, and this car, like yesterday morning, was, well, over the weekend it was in the low 30s the whole every day we took it out. Like it was Friday it was 32 degrees. Yesterday it was, or the Saturday it was 31, 32 degrees, and then yesterday morning it was like 33 degrees. So once again, this did not get over cruising around. It didn't get over, well, 170 degrees. And then when we were like going through all the speed humps, etc., and you'll see a little bit of that in the video too, when we were going through all the speed humps, etc., it was literally only got to 190 when we were almost home, to the point that we had been putting along at almost, you know, 30 k's an hour for I don't know how long, up Beach Road and so forth. So once again, just for general cruising around, etc., it didn't get over 180 degrees the whole time that we were out. And once again, when it got to 190, it was only because we were almost stopped for I don't know how long, etc., and mucking around. So yeah, once again, very, 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 very pleased with that. And this was something else that I was also a little bit worried about. That is a very good quality spool fan, 16-inch. I did want to get it in the middle of the radiator. The dimensions that they gave me, it would have fit in the middle of the radiator, but it doesn't, because it fails on the pump pulley. But that's a 16-inch spool fan, and as you can see, it is offset to the left-hand side of the car, and there's quite an amount of the radiator still exposed. And underneath that, right in this corner here, I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up on but in this corner here, down the lower part of the radiator, is my transcooler. So, you know, there's a good part of the transmission, or sorry, the radiator that's actually blocked off, and it's not getting 100% coverage with the fan too. And once again, everyone will say, oh, you're not running a shroud. Never have. I know they work, but you know, the proof's in the pudding yesterday that we just simply don't really require it. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be a benefit. I'm just saying at this present point in time we don't require it. So yeah, so once again, very happy with that upgrade on the car. Mind you, it did cost me a bit, but good radiators do, in fact, anything good does. So yeah, so that's that little improvement. The 3-row radiator from Southern Radiators, the team at Southern Radiators, very happy with that. Okay, so the second upgrade for the car is this Raceworks fuel cell. If you have a look back in the other videos, you'll see I used to have the fuel cell mounted up underneath the parcel shelf here. It was really good because the surge hung off the back of the shelf there, and it had a surge, like I'm saying, a surge tank in the bottom of the tank. This one I've actually gone with a flat bottom tank, because I literally sat it down in the flat part of the car. This is where it, and I'll just try and get the light on there for you guys. This is where it actually leaked out of. My other one leaked out of one of these fittings. Like I said, it was just bulkheaded with a -8 through the plastic, and like I'm saying, on the inside of the actual tank wall actually came off a small piece like an O-ring came off, and yeah, it was just perished and just old age. So yeah, once again, I had to upgrade to the Raceworks. I'm very happy with that because I'll be using another one of these in my future project. Stay tuned for that one. It's going to be a ripper. So I'm going to be using another one of them for my future projects. This is actually around about 40 litres, which suits me because, you know, I'm not going out in the outback along the hay plain or anything like that. So 40 litre tank. And I wasn't happy with how in the old setup, if you have a look on the old video, I had the fuel filter just hanging in the middle of the boot here, across here, and then it went into the fuel pump. So as you can see, I've upgraded and bought a few more fittings for it, and we've gone, like I was saying, and I've also increased the volume and size of the hose too. So this is a -10 coming out, -10 into the fuel filter, -8 out of the fuel filter into the pump and then out. And I'm also got to change this down here where it goes through the floor. There is a hole both sides of these in the chassis rail that goes straight through, and I've also got my breather going out of there as well. You know, this is going just out through and then into the hard line. So once again, later on, I'll probably end up putting a -8 fitting down here. I've got some bulkhead -8 fittings, and then elbow that into the bulkhead fitting, and then also elbow that into the hard line with a flexi line. But that's the future. Once again, everybody knows how expensive these fittings are, so I just sort of, how do I say it? I didn't do it on the cheap, because none of these fittings are cheap, but I just saved myself probably another, you know, couple of $100 in bits and pieces there, just by putting that through the chassis rail for now. Yeah, so, you know, once again, the cost of that plus some fittings, etc., that it soon added up to, as you know, over $1,000 before you know it. So yeah, but they're the improvements that I've done with the car, and like I said, I'm very happy with how the fuel system has turned out. Very happy with that, and once again, I will definitely be using the Raceworks fuel cell in the next project, but I'll be using inboard in-tank pumps instead of an external pump, etc. So yeah, like I'm saying, that pretty much all the so-called improvements and modifications that we had to do from the first attempt. Like I was saying, the tank just decided to let go when the radiator was at the radiator shop. so I just got to it and ordered another tank, etc., and got it all going. So yeah, alrighty, without waffling on anymore, which I believe I've done a lot of in this video already, let's go for a drive along the coast and a bit of a look through coffee and cars, etc. Alright, so just been out for a nice morning at Coffee and Cars at Beck's Bakery here at Port Noarlunga. Huge turnout. I didn't do much filming because I was just catching up with people and having a bit of a walk around, etc. But yeah, huge turnout. Looks like there's a lot of people coming from out north now, which is really good as well. Different variety of cars and that. So, but yeah, so we're out going for a bit of a drive in the old Hemi 6. I won't be revving it too much because I'm still playing around with timing, etc. with the ICE. Luckily I've got it right here, so you know when it starts to, and if it detonates, etc., I can just play with the timing and stuff. But yeah, there's heaps of cars out, and just to set the record straight, there is actually a patrol car in front of us. The SAPOL police, local police, are in front of us. So once again, I'm not going to be doing anything silly, but yeah, so out finally cruising in the old Charger. Had this car for like 27 years, and just slowly pieced it together. Pretty happy with how it's come out, but as always, there's still a lot of teething problems, etc. Because the exhaust is hitting on the shocker because it's quite low. But you know, it's bearable, etc. Like I'm saying, there's lots of cars. This is the Route 31 along here, which is really cool. It goes from Sullivan's Beach all the way to Selix. I think I've covered that in one of my other videos, but this is just basically a blocky, I guess you could call it, cruising the Esplanade. Yeah, we're very, very fortunate to have such a beautiful Esplanade to cruise along. Yeah, I'm pretty, like I said, pretty happy. Did fuel up a bit yesterday. I mean, we were out yesterday, it was like 33 degrees and we were driving around. Very happy with the new radiator I've got in the car. Yesterday it was like saying 33 degrees, and it didn't get past 180 the whole time we were out, which is awesome. So I'm very happy with that. And once again, we put the new fuel system in it as well. Well, not new fuel system, but tidied it up a lot. Put a new fuel cell in there, and tidied up the fuel line route as well, I guess you can call it. So yeah, but nah, pretty happy with how it cruises along. Once again, I'm not going to get in it too much because there is, like I say, a cop car in front of us, just up a little bit. But yeah. So up the front is my old race engine out of my old black Charger. Best time this engine ran was 12.1 at 110 mile an hour in my old Charger. So sort of hoping to replicate that. That's a Jason Maros built 265, and once again, you know, we built that a long time ago, back in the 90s. So there's, you know, granted there's a lot more technology these days and a lot more different things and parts available and so forth for that people were producing for the Hemi 6. Back then it was just me buddy Jason. So yeah, but that's basically a prototype engine of his that he put together, and we just tried to extract as much horsepower as what we could back in those days. 45mm Webers, but those Webers have been, since the day I bought them, they were tore down and basically replicated to a E49 style carburetor that Jason had a listing of to cope with what we wanted, the flow and the fuel that we wanted, etc. Fully ported head, roller rockers, big solid cam, heavy duty oil pump, which we have customised, drilled and doweled and welded to give it some longevity, because I did actually have 2 oil pump failures of no fault of Jason's, but just due to first gear, just revving so erratically at the track, just stripping the oil pump shaft out of the impeller in the pump. So, but yeah, long story short, we've got around that, as you do when you're building and developing an engine. You know, you do have comebacks and you will have issues, etc. You know, but once we've got rid of all the teething problems with the engine, it was it's touch wood, has been pretty much bulletproof since then. So, but I won't go into too much more detail. It's, you know, after all, back in those days, it's just a Hemi 6. So, literally, that's all it is. It's just all stock parts. There's nothing glorious in there apart from some timing chain, roller rockers, and a big solid camshaft, you know. But the transmission is a built 904 with a, I think it works out about 3200 converter at the moment. So yeah, built 904, full manual reverse pattern valve body in this one. Yeah, I'm very happy with it. It's working very well. No slips. First gear's quite second's quite snappy, and third's quite plush, so it's quite good for the street. Whereas my other one with the trans brake holds a lot of line pressure from second to third, and bangs really hard, to be quite honest. So this one I'm very happy with. In the rear is nothing too special, just some 31 spline axles, 31 spline curry axles with I've got a full spool in this at the moment. I'm going to be taking that out and putting a true track in. Once again, I just wanted to get the car on the road, and you know, for now it saved me $1,500 odd on the true track. So yeah, eventually we'll put a true track in it. And I've just got, for the moment, some 3.7 gears in it. I have got a set of 411s to go in it. Probably when I put the true track in there, I reckon while it's on the bench, I'll tear it down. I'll just wait and see. I do enjoy actually driving with the 3.7s. It's quite good. You can just cruise around, you know. It's good. It's nice and casual, etc. And you can do 80 k's without it sort of revving, etc. erratically or hard sort of thing. So, but yeah. So like I said, I think I'll definitely be taking the spool out and putting the spool out and putting a true track in there, Eaton Harrop true track, of course. But as you can hear on these sorts of roads, bang bang, clatter clatter. Yeah, I've still got a lot of work to do, and I've only had very limited hours. I mean, this is probably only the 4th time that I've really driven the car. Due to the first time when we took it out, we had overheated really badly. We couldn't even travel about 5 kilometres, I don't reckon, without it overheating. Well, you know, to the point of 200, so I don't like it getting anything over 200, so I was stopping and pulling over and just you know, having a bit of a rest, etc. But now with the new radiator, like I said, we were out yesterday, 33 degrees, and it was fine, you know, just cruising around, etc. So yeah, I haven't really given it much road testing yet. So I've still got a lot of road testing to do, and like I said, it's I haven't quite got the timing correct yet with the ICE. That'll come with time, naturally. Might have to put it on the dyno and just to tune it correctly. We'll wait and see. Yeah, as you can see, first and second's quite pokey. I have actually wound I had it set at 15 on the curve. I've wound it back to 10 to take a little bit less timing out of it. Yesterday, I'll be honest, yesterday I just gave it a little bit here and there, and just to start at the top of second gear, it sort of it was starting to ping a little bit. So, but that's all cool. It's just part of the deal. I haven't got my recurve dizzy in there that I ran in. I have got that sitting ready to go if we need it, but yeah, I'm still going to persist with the ICE, of course. There's some really good classic cars getting around. Once again, like I said, Beck's Bakery seems to be attracting some really good cars lately. It's really cool. But yeah, after 27 years of pouring tens of thousands of dollars into it, and many days in the shed, and many, you know, hours, lots of hard work, lots of you know, R&D, lots of watching YouTube, learning how to do shit. You know, once again, it's a great resource. Not a lot of it, you know, not all of it's factual, but you can generally pick out what ones are worth watching and warrant your attention as such. But yeah, it's a great resource to have, the old YouTube. Everybody, a lot of guys out there that put some time into their videos, and are really quite educational, and you do pick up some good tips here and there, for sure. Cool though. Like I said, I don't want to be freaking racing around here beating it up anyway. It's too many people, too much traffic, etc. this hot rod, man. Absolutely beautiful. Richard, he's another local from around the area. Absolutely stunning hot rod. This is where we have coffee and cars at Beck's in the morning, so this is where we were hanging out this morning. Pretty empty now. Pontiac. This Chevelle's nice. Bloody nice, that Chevelle. Sounded tough too, probably a big block car. This Camaro's really nice. Lived here all my life in such a nice area. Sort of taken for granted a little bit, which is a bit sad. Yeah. I honestly wouldn't live anywhere else. I love the place. Parting around, it's just on 170, so just really happy with the new radiator. Southern radiators, yeah, they've excelled themselves there. Really happy with it.
Ciao.
go, coffee truck. Killer. that'll sort of do us for our little road trip, and I'll head home, I think. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed a little drive along the coast there. Once again, still got a lot of things to finish off on the car, but you know, it's driving under its own power and able to take it out on the street and take it for a drive, which is after 27 years of having the car and buying it as a rolling shell and putting together to get it back to what it is now. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the achievement, considering it's only ever left this house for to have the auto electrical done, which is something I don't do or have got no idea what to do or where to start, and then also to have a wheel alignment done, and a wheel alignment and a nut and bolt check under the car, etc., which all came up tickety-boo. So yeah, I reckon that'll sort of do us for this video. Let us know in the comments what you think of the name change too of the channel, from Mid-Coast Tiff Shop to Mid-Coast Mopars. I'll always be Mid-Coast Tiff Shop, but once again, I'm not trading anymore due to my back injury. So the only diff content, like I said, that you'll see on the channel will be me doing my own stuff, no customer work, etc. anymore. So yeah, I reckon, like I said, that'll do us for today's video. Once again, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, because I have got a lot of interesting stuff coming up. Another build coming up very soon as well. So yeah, once again, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Would really appreciate it. Alrighty, thanks again for watching. Appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next video.